Welcome to this YSL Microsoft Excel tutorial. In this video, we're going to look at how to use the unique function. We'll start with the basics of how to get unique values from either a column or from the results of a calculation. We'll then use the optional parameters of the function to look at how to get unique values by rows or by columns, and how to return the values that appear only once in a list. We'll also cover how to get unique combinations of values from multiple columns, and then how to use the results of a unique function to populate the criteria for conditional aggregation functions, such as SUMIF and COUNTIF, and also finally, how to count the unique values returned by the function. So let's get started. For this example, we're going to be using a list of the top 50 highest grossing movies. If you want to follow along with the video, you can find a link in the description, which you can use to download the same file that I'm working on. For the first example, I want to get a list of the unique values from column G, which contains the genre of each of our 50 films, but you can see there are lots of duplicate genres in that list. I want to get my unique list into column J. So one way we could do this is by copying all of the genres from column G, paste them into column J, and then use the Remove Duplicates feature from the Data tab of the ribbon. But we can also achieve the same results by using the unique function, and this means we can avoid copying and pasting the values in the first place. So I'm going to head to column J, select cell J3, and I'm going to write a formula that begins with equals unique, and then open up some round brackets. You'll see from the tooltip that the unique function has 3 parameters, but there's only one compulsory one. The only one not listed in square brackets there is called array. So this is a reference to the list of values containing the unique ones that you want to extract. So in my case, I want to reference cell G3, and then I want to select all the cells down to the end of that list. So I'm going to hold down the Control and Shift keys, tap the down arrow key, and that will expand my selection down to cell G52. If I then just close the round brackets and hit enter, we'll find that the unique function returns this spilled array of unique genre names from column G. If you're not familiar with spilled arrays already, then we do have a video that explains how those work. So if you need a bit of a primer on how spilled arrays work, that's a good place to start. But there we go, there's our first simple example, extracting the unique values from a single column. Just before we move on and look at some of the more interesting features of the unique function, I think it's worthwhile spending a bit of time creating a better way to reference the various columns of our main table of data. I basically want to avoid having to use cell references to refer to each column. We've got a couple of options for making this work, but for this video I'm going to create a set of named ranges using the values in row 2 here. So if I select cell A2 first, hold down Control and Shift and tap the down arrow key followed by the right arrow key, that will highlight the entire range of data including the column headers. What I'm then going to do is head up to the Formulas tab in the ribbon and then choose the Create From Selection option. There's also a keyboard shortcut there you can press as well. I want to make sure that I'm using the values in the top row of the selected cells, so I'm going to uncheck the right column box so that I only have the top row selected. And then if I click OK, that will create a named range for each separate column in our main list of movie data. So if I have a look now in the name box in the top left hand corner of the screen, I can see that I've got a box office column or box office named range referring to cells F3 to F52 and a separate named column or named range referring to each of the columns in that table. You can also see your named ranges in the Name Manager dialog box in the Formulas tab in the ribbon. So should you want to remove or edit any existing named range, this is the place to go and do it. It also means I can write my formulae a little more easily when I want to reference columns in that table. So if I head back to cell J3, I'm going to delete the content of that cell, which will of course remove the dynamic spilled array as well. I can now say equals unique. And then rather than referring to the values in column G by cell reference, I can replace that with a reference to the named range genre. So it makes the formula a little easier to read and to write, but the results are ultimately the same. So it's nice and easy now to extract a list of unique values from any column in our original table. We've already got the list of unique genres, let's also get the list of unique certificates. I'll just quickly copy and paste the column header there into column K, and then in cell K3 I'm going to say equals unique, open up some round brackets, and then refer to the named range called certificate. I can then close around brackets and hit enter, and there's the list of unique certificate values. Now, as well as being able to extract unique values that are already in your list, you can nest other expressions inside the unique function to derive new values. So let's say, for example, I wanted to get a list of unique film release years. I'm pretty sure that all the release dates in here are unique, but there are some duplicate film years, so 2019 crops up a few times. So what I would like to do is get just the list of unique years. Now that data isn't actually contained as a separate value in our data table, but we can nest another expression inside the unique function to calculate that. So let's head to cell L2. I'm going to type in a quick column header there of year, and then I'm going to say equals unique in cell L3, and then inside the unique function I'm going to nest the year function. Then I can reference my release named range to refer to the column of release dates, close two sets of round brackets and hit enter, and there's my list of unique film years. That applies to pretty much any calculation. If I wanted to extract a list of initials from my film titles to see how many films begin with the letter A, for example, I could create a new column header in cell M2, let's call this one initial, and then in cell M3 I could say equals unique, open up some round brackets, and then I'm going to use a function called left, which allows me to extract characters from the left of a string. The first argument I'm going to pass into the left function is a reference to my title column, or my title named range, and then I'm going to type in a comma and say give me the first character, to give me just one character from the left hand side of that string. If I then close two sets of round brackets, I get a list of unique initials for our film names as well. If you wanted the results of your unique function to be sorted, you can nest it inside either a sort or a sort by function. We've got a separate video that goes into those functions in a lot more detail, but just to give you the basic idea, if I edit the formula in cell J3 by selecting it and hitting the F2 key or double clicking on it, I can wrap the sort function around the unique function. So I can say sort, open some round brackets, and then close an extra set of round brackets at the end. The default way that will be sorted is alphabetically in ascending order of the first column of the array. So that makes the results a little nicer to read. You can sort results in descending order as well. So if I headed back to the year column that I've created there, cell L3, hit the F2 key to edit that formula, I can wrap the sort function around unique. This is the array that I want to sort. I want to sort that by the first column. So at the end of that formula as it stands, I'm going to type in a comma and say that I'm going to sort by the first column. There is only one column in that array anyway, so that's kind of a bit redundant. But then the sort order, I want to sort in descending order, so I'm going to provide a -1 value for that third argument. If I then close the round brackets, we'll see the most recent unique year at the top of the list. The unique function has a couple of optional parameters for controlling what results the function returns, so let's have a look at what those do. To demonstrate the first one, I'm going to switch onto a separate worksheet here called Top 50 Columns. Now this worksheet contains exactly the same data as our Top 50 Movies worksheet, it's just that the data is arranged in columns rather than in rows, so we've got 50 columns, one for each film. Now what I'd like to try to do is extract the unique genres from the genre row. So if I try to do that just using the unique function in its standard form, I'll head into cell B13 and say equals unique. Then I'm going to reference cells B8, or select cell B8 first, hold down Control and Shift and tap the right arrow key to extend the selection all the way across the end. Close the round brackets and then hit enter. And you can hopefully see there the small problem with that I've still returned every single genre from that row. To make this work correctly, to return the unique values from that row, I need to pass a value to the second parameter, the first optional one there in the unique function called by col. So I'm going to edit that formula, add a comma after my cell references, and then say true, return unique columns. So when I hit enter now, that will return the unique values from that single row. The other optional parameter of the unique function allows you to control whether you return one copy of each distinct value in a range, or whether you return only the values from a range which appear once and once only. So just to demonstrate this quickly, let's head back to the top 50 movies list, and I'd like to return only the genres that appear once only in column G. Let's create a new column header there in cell N2, genre once only. And then I'm going to say equals unique. I'll refer to my genre array. I'm going to skip over the by col parameter there. I'm going to type in 2 commas just to skip over the second parameter. And then I'm on the third parameter called exactly once, and I can specify here true to return only those genres that appear once and once only in the list. If I close around brackets and hit enter, that's romance and musical. So far we've been returning the unique values from either a single column or a single row, but you can also return the unique values from a combination of columns and rows. So let's say we wanted to find every unique combination of genre and certificate from our main list. I'm just going to remove the formulae from cells J and K3, and that'll wipe out the dynamic arrays there as well. And then select cell J3 and say equals unique, and then I simply want to reference both columns from the main list. So if I select cells G3 and H3, hold down Ctrl and Shift and tap the down arrow key, I can then close around brackets and find the unique combinations of values from both of those columns. So when I hit enter, there's our unique list. We can still apply sorting to that list as well. So if I edit the formula there in cell J3, we can wrap the sort function around that list and say sort unique G3 to H52, hit enter, and there's the results sorted alphabetically by genre. Now there are several good reasons for wanting to return the unique values from a column, but one of the most common is to provide the criteria for conditional aggregation functions such as countif and sumif, etc. So just to demonstrate how that might work, let's modify this formula here in cell J3. I'm going to return just the unique values from the genre named range. Now that I've got the unique genres, maybe I want to find out how many films belong to each genre. So I'm going to modify the column header there in cell K2 to say count, and then in cell K3 I can say count if, open some round brackets, and then refer to the genre column using the range name genre. Then I can refer to the criteria for that column based on the values returned by my unique function. So I'm going to reference cell J3, which refers to that one single cell, followed by a hash symbol to reference the entire dynamic array. If I then close around brackets and hit enter, that tells me how many films there are in each one of my genres. I can do similar things to find, for example, the total box office of films in each genre. Let's just insert a new column to the left of column L, and then let's create a new column head here. Let's call this one sum box office. And then in cell L3, we can say equals sumif. Now I'm going to refer to the genre named range again in the original main list, and I'll provide the criteria for that column based on the values starting in cell J3 for the rest of that spilled array. So J3 followed by a hash symbol. I can then add another comma and say that I want to sum up the values in column F, which is the box office column. If I then close around brackets, hit enter, that's the total box office values generated by all the films in each genre. Just as one final example of that, let's also find the average runtime of films in each genre. So I'm going to insert a new column to the left of column M, and then I'm going to create an AVG runtime column header. And then we can say equals average if. The range I want to check is the genre range, so that's the genre range name. The criteria come from the spilled array starting in cell J3. And then the average range this time is going to be the run time named range. I can then close the parentheses, hit enter, and there's the average runtime of films in each genre. Just as one final idea, we could use the unique function to establish whether a column contains duplicate values or not. Now obviously with the genre and the certificate columns, it's very easy to spot at a glance that there are duplicate values in those columns. But if we looked at the title column, it's less easy to spot immediately whether there are any duplicate film titles. So let's try and find out. I'm going to quickly copy the column header from cell K2 there, just find an arbitrary place to paste that somewhere down towards the bottom. I'm going to call that one count titles. And then below that, I'm just going to fill that down and then say count unique titles. So next to the count titles header, I'm going to use the count a function to count all the values in the title named range. So as we'd expect, that should return 50 because there are 50 rows in that list. If I now say equals count a, open up some round brackets and then refer to the unique function and then pass in the title range name, if I count the unique titles, I only get 49, indicating there's one film with a duplicate title in that list. Now, there are several ways we could try to identify that, but a quick and convenient one just for the moment to wrap up the video. If I use my range name list here to select the title column, then head to the Home tab in the ribbon, choose Conditional Formatting, highlight Cells Rules, and then finally Duplicate Values. I can choose what formatting I'd like. I'm going to stick with light red fill with dark red text. Hit the OK button there and we'll find out that it's the Lion King that appears in our list twice. The original in 1994 and the remake in 2019. So there we go. There's a quick overview of how the unique function works to return unique values in rows and columns, and a couple of ideas for how you could make use of that. Hope you found that one useful. Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.